Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Monday, June 23rd, Major League Baseball slate. So we don't have a monster slate today. It is Mondays and Thursdays, obviously being, if you're new to baseball, those are the two light days, so no 15 games today. Just, I believe, 8? 8 games going on. So all night games. We will get started with the early one. First of all, if you're new to our show, welcome. Secondly, we do fade or follow 4 teams in Major League Baseball: Orioles, Dodgers, Royals, and Cubs. Those will be the 4 teams where you're heavily invested in those games. We will give you picks throughout the lineup. As well. But we do, game one is actually one of the games we're in. So 6:35 Eastern time, Orioles back at home, going against the Rangers. Orioles still continue to struggle to score, and they struggle against left-handers. Here's the beauty of it. The Rangers don't do that great against left-handers either. And Trevor Rogers back on the mound against Patrick Corbin for the Rangers. If you guys have been watching this show for multiple years, you know the it's National Patrick Corbin Day. But National Patrick Corbin Day is kind of flipped this season for the Rangers, as he's pitched really well. Some of the, he hasn't had his typical I throw 4 1/3 and give up 6 anymore. Now he seems to be going closer to 5-6 innings and only giving up a couple runs. So quality starts is what we would call that from Patrick Corbin. Trevor Rogers makes us a little bit nervous, but being that both teams struggle against left-handed pitching and the total's at 9.5, we're going to take the side out of this completely. You know what? I don't know. Like, these two teams on a daily basis, you don't know if they're going to win or not. The main reason is you don't know if the bullpen's going to fold up, because the bullpens for both teams not that good. Obviously, the Orioles had a lead the entire way on Sunday till the bullpen showed up and gave that thing away after they went out to a 2-0 lead and lost. It's just the way it goes, right? So many teams over the weekend lost games because of the bullpen. The Cubs lose games because of the bullpen. The Royals did it multiple games this weekend. The Orioles, obviously, we just talked about. The Yankees lost a game in the Orioles series because of the bullpen. The bullpens across baseball, for the most part, are an absolute horrible. Way too many walks, way too many hit batters, so on and so forth. They put way too many players on base. And when you get guys on base, it does change what's going on the field. That's why the home run or walk type theory anymore, that's fine if you're getting a bunch of walks. But if you're not getting the walks, you're not getting there. One thing is we will salute the Cubs and Mariners for putting up 50 runs over the weekend in a 3-game series. That was a lot of fun to watch. The wind was blowing out like crazy. But anyway, we'll get back to this Baltimore and Rangers game. Like we said, we do like the under here quite a bit. Let's give you all the picks we've got in this game. So the under 9.5, what we like better in this game, actually, Rangers-Orioles, is going to be under 3.5 runs first 3 innings, 5.5 first 5, 7.5 first 7. Reason being is we don't trust the bullpen for those last couple innings for either squad. Orioles under 4.5 team total, Rangers under 4.5 team total. Rangers and Orioles both under 2.5 team total first 5 innings. Corbin Carroll under 2.5 earned runs. Rogers under 2.5 earned runs. Then we're also going to play Corbin, Carroll, and Rogers both over 15.5 outs. So you need him to get through 5 1/3. And let's see. Corbin over 1.5 walks. Rogers over 1.5 walks. These guys like to walk a bunch of dudes. Seager under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs for the Rangers. Also under 1.5 total bases. Jordan Westburg under 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Corey Seager 1+ strikeout. Cedric Mullins 1+ strikeout. Gunnar under 1.5 total bases. Colton Cowser under half a total base. And Laureano under 1.5 total bases in that game there. Next game up, Yankees and Reds. Well, Winans versus Lodolo in this one. Who the hell do you pick in this thing? Right? Obviously, the Yanks probably a little bit better team. Reds are at home, where they normally play pretty well. And we've got, a new starter in the mix, right? Don't know. I mean, Winans is almost 30 years old, right? He's had, a couple of cups of coffee with Atlanta in 23 and 24. So, new to the Yanks, right? His career 40 innings pitched, 38 strikeouts, a whip of almost 1.6, ERA pushing, well over 7. Not a ton to love there, I think, on that side. Lodolo, lately, I mean, if we really take a look at what Lodolo's done, his last 3 starts, he's given up 2 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs against Minnesota, Cleveland, and Arizona. He's had 4, 6, and 4 strikeouts. So if the number pops at 4.5 or 5.5, take under on the Ks on Lodolo. Also, like I said, he's went 6, 3 1/3 when he gave up the 6 runs and 6. So you can almost pencil him in for 6, right? But is Aaron Judge going to hit like 19 home runs in that small Cincinnati ballpark? There's a good chance he hits a few. You know what I mean? I don't think this is going to be Wrigley with winds blowing out at 20 miles an hour, but normally in Cincinnati, the ball gets crushed and gets crushed often. So what are we thinking this particular game here? To be really honest, with the way the pitchers are in this particular one, that total at 10 is pretty enticing. The only issue I've got here is what Yankees offense is going to show up. You just don't know. I mean, that's the thing. You do not know with them whatsoever. Lodolo being left-handed, I think, does stifle half of the lineup, at least, for the Yanks. So maybe that's to the advantage there. If you're in this game, it would be very small for me, but I'll take the dog here at home. They're not much of a dog, but Reds plus a half a run first 5 innings, plus 1.5 for the game, and maybe slightly to the over 10 as well for this one. Next game up, 7:10 Eastern time, Schwellenbach and the Braves versus the Mets. So thank God that Mets-Phillies series is over, right? Now we get the Mets are back at home and they face Atlanta. What do we think we're going to see out of this Atlanta team? Does anybody know? Nobody knows. I mean, realistically, no. I mean, Blackburn has had 2 starts. And he's basically, he's not going to get you a bunt. I'm sorry, I guess he's had a few starts now. His last time against the Braves went 3 2/3, gave up 3. And then went 1/3 of an inning against Tampa Bay, gave up 4 as they got crushed in that one. Went 4 innings against the Rockies, gave up 3. So, he's probably not going to get you, this ain't a guy that's going to give you 5, 6 innings of 2-run ball more times than not, right? So, strikeout-wise, 2-0 and 3. I don't know if you're going to see a K total because he normally doesn't pitch a lot of runs. Walks, I'd probably stay away from as well because 2-0 and 1 is 3 starts. Like I said, he's not in the game long enough. As well. So then you get into that Mets bullpen, which is always a little shaky at best, right? It always makes you feel good. You have 3-0 lead and you be sitting there doing a 20-hour sweat, which is never a lot of fun. I mean, when you look at some of the numbers here for the Braves against Blackburn, like Acuna's 1 for 3 with the home run. Albies is 3 for 4. Sean Murphy's 1 for 1. Austin Riley's 2 for 3. Verdugo's actually faced him the most. I think he's 4 for 12 against him a lifetime. And then we flip over to the Mets side against Schwellenbach, right? So Schwellenbach's putting together a pretty decent season overall. I mean, ERA, low 3s. On the other side, Alonso, he's like, 4 for 11, lifetime, no home runs. The only one to have a home run off him is Tyrone Taylor in the lineup. He's 4 for 8 against him a lifetime. Oh, I'm sorry. Juan Soto's also 1 for 2 for a home run. So if you're looking for a couple guys maybe that can sting the ball a little bit on both of those sides of the plate. And Schwellenbach in his last few games, 7 innings, 4 runs, went a full 9 innings, gave up 2 runs against the Brewers, and then 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. So probably going to see some scoring, I think, on both sides. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, scoring in a lot of games has went up, and you're starting to see on a lot more totals at 9.5 on the board as well, as we are getting to the summertime, right? So, in this game being at 8.5, definitely have some interest there. I don't know if I could pick a side here because don't really love what both teams are putting out as of late, but I do like some runs being scored. Like I said, if you want to go after a Soto, Acuna, Riley, and Tyrone Taylor in this one, I think you got some great options on the hitter side. Next game up, Diamondbacks and the White Sox. It's National Eduardo Rodriguez Day. That's right. Eduardo Rodriguez has his claim to fame on getting his own holiday because he's just that god-awful. It does not seem to matter what he does. It don't work out, right? And Eduardo, Last start out, 4 2/3. Wow, way to go, bud. Only gave up a run, though. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. And then against the Mariners, 6 1/3, 2 runs. Not bad. That's actually a good start. Still a loss. As you know what I mean. 2 4 for the season. ERA's around 6. He is averaging a strikeout per inning. Whips, though, is 1.6, which is way up there. Way up there. In his last 32 innings, though, he has allowed 26 runs. Just to give you a heads up there. And then the shot before that, he went against the Reds. 5 innings, 2 runs. If his hit total is, by the way, hits allowed. Here's a bonus one for you. If hits allowed is above 4.5, hit it. That's all I'm going to tell you there. He's given up 6 hits in his last 3 starts. I know it's the White Sox, so they're going to be a little bit down. The White Sox are a couple games under 500 at home, but not god-awful at home either. So, also, Benintendi is 1 for 2 against Eduardo Rodriguez Lifetime, the lefty-on-lefty matchup there. Nobody else has really seen him too much. Michael Taylor doesn't play a bunch. Sosa is 1 for 3 against him Lifetime. Luis Robert Jr. is 2 for 10 against him Lifetime. Noda actually is 1 for 4 with a homer against Eduardo Lifetime. Smith, in his last few outings, 4 1/3, gave up 5. That was by far probably his worst outing of the season. 6 innings the time before that at Houston. He went 6 and gave up 1. And then also against the Tigers, 5 1/3, gave up nothing. So we do like, to be really honest here, this is just an Eduardo Rodriguez fade. The Diamondbacks are a little bit better team. They're not a ton better than the White Sox, especially when they're at home. Diamondbacks on the road. Diamondbacks are about a $1.40 favorite here. So we're going to take the White Sox a couple different ways here, plus a half a run front 5, plus 1.5 for the game in that one as well. Next game up at 7:40 Eastern time as well. We've got the Pirates and the Brouhahas, because everybody just loves watching the Pittsburgh Pirates play. All right, everybody. Like, really? That's all we get is that? We get more and more Pirates. Does it seem like to me that the Pirates play every day? Or what's the deal? I think they play every day. It really seems like it. The Pirates play 190 games while everybody else plays 162. You got Ashcraft versus Patrick in this one. So we're looking at basically a bullpen game for the Pirates. Ashcraft, though, has pitched pretty well. I mean, let's give him a little bit of credit here. 11 innings so far this season, 10 strikeouts, whips under 1.3, ERA's low. His last 3 openers, he went 2 innings, gave up a run, 2 innings, nothing, and a third, and gave up 1. So he's been decent for him. The problem that the Pirates have every single game is one simple problem, and that's the ability to score. The Brewers can put it on. I mean, Patrick has allowed quite a few runs here, but I still don't know what the hell's going on with this Brewers offense as they're sputtering sometimes. Churio and Yelich and Contreras and Hoskins are definitely going to have to, get the load done. But anyway, this game here, Pirates are on the road. Don't like them there. Do like the Brewers quite a bit in this one. Think they get the job done. Minus a half a run front 5. Minus 1.5 for the game. Next game up, Mariners, Twins, Wu versus Ober. So normally we're always a big fan of Mr. Wu, but lately Mr. Wu has not been a fan of us, backing him anyway. And the Mariners come off a series where they scored more runs than the Seahawks do put up points when they went to the Wrigley with that wind blowing out. Wu, like I said, he's been a little disappointing as of late, except the 7th inning against Boston where he didn't allow. But then he get, the start before that against Arizona gives up 5. Start before that against Baltimore gives up 4. Strikeouts have been a little all over the place. Normally he's good for 5, 6. He did have a dip in one game to 3. I mean, he strikes out roughly 7 per 9 on that one. So if he's going to go 6 innings, he's normally going to get you 4 to 5, somewhere in that range. If you're looking at his K total. Bailey Ober, though, this guy allows more people on base. I can't believe his whip is only 1.4 because this dude, every time I turn around, allows everything. And his last 3 starts, he's gotten rocked. 5 2/3, 9 hits, 4 runs. 4 2/3, 6 hits, and 7 runs. and 7 innings, 5 hits, and 5 runs. He gets just bamboozled. He had 6 walks in that game as well, where he gave up the 7 earned runs. He's tough to watch. I would just put it to you that way. Wu should be better than what you're going to see out of Bailey O'Bear. The question is can that offense kind of continue over? They're barely a favorite here. It's a straight money line play. Mariners first 5, Mariners for the game. Hopefully their bullpen continues to pitch well. It didn't pitch that bad against the Cubs. The Cubs bullpen was the tyrant there. That 8.5 as well. Definitely something I would take a look at. But I do like the Seattle side of it better, over 4.5 team total. Then we get to the Cubs and Cardinals, 7:45 Eastern time. Ben Brown against Livator. Livator's been god-awful as of late. Ben Brown's been god-awful as of late. So what do we think here? I don't know. Ben Brown, last 3 starts, 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 6 runs, 7 innings. He actually had 1 good game probably this season of 7 innings, 2 runs. It was against Detroit, at Detroit, which is not necessarily the easiest place on earth to score as well. Cardinals, they've been all over the board. Livator's gotten rocked. 4, 5, and 6 is what he's given up in his last 3 starts. The Cardinals haven't seen Ben Brown before, but he does give up a lot of home run balls, which should help the Cardinals quite a bit. And Livator even though he struggled lately, you take away PCA because he struggles with left-handers. You take away Michael Busch, and now you got to put Justin Turner in the game. That's a monster upgrade. Downgrade for the Cubs. Kyle Tucker can hit lefties really well. Ian Happ does have a little bit of success against 1 for 2 with the home run against Livator, but he is a switch hitter. Suzuki has faced him 3 times, 1 for 3. There should be quite a bit of... I have a feeling this game's probably going to go over. We're not going to play the total in this one, but that total at 9 definitely has a chance to get clipped on the outside. We're basically... toss up here what the books have got this priced at. Let's give you all the picks we've got for this one. Cardinals money line plus 1.5, minus 1.5 and 2.5 on the run line. Cardinals money line first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Nootbaar and Burleson, same 6 picks apiece. Home run double over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, 3+ total bases, 2+ hits. We're also going to play Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, just 2 for those guys. Ben Brown, the one thing, he does give up fly balls and he does give up homers, but he does strike out some guys. So he does have some swing and miss capabilities. So Ben Brown, 5+ Ks. Ben Brown, 6+ strikeouts. Ben Brown under 15.5 outs, as I don't think he gets to 5 1/3. And Ben Brown over 2.5 earned runs are all the plays for us in that one. Next game up, Angels and the Red Sox out in Anaheim here at 9:38 Eastern time. Kokonowitz, if that's how you pronounce it, the sinker baller who a lot of times can't get his ball to sink against Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler, I miss the days of before he went through a couple Tommy Johns. This guy was so dominant with the Dodgers. It's not been that way. Unfortunately, with the Reds, it's been not the Reds, the Red Sox. Unfortunately, it hasn't been great. Last 3 starts, 3 1/3, 8 runs. Start before that, 7 innings, 3 runs. Start before that, 2 innings, 5 runs. He's walking we're averaging basically 2 1/3 walks almost every start. He's not striking out as many guys. The walks are up. It's been tough, man. I really liked Walker Buehler, but 2 Tommy Johns, you can definitely see a little bit of wear on him. And only being 30 years old, this is probably his major contract. So I hope he can turn it around. I remember watching this kid at Vanderbilt. That's how long ago we've been watching Walker Buehler. So plus he's got a cool name, right? Who doesn't like Walker? Like Walker, Texas Ranger. Anyway, Kokonowitz in his last few starts, just to kind of give you an idea, 5 1/3, 2, 4 1/3, 2, 3 1/3, 4. He hasn't been dominant at all. Either he doesn't strike a lot of people out. Whip is extremely high. It's sinker baller. If the ball don't sink, which for some reason when he's at home, it doesn't. I don't know if it just doesn't sink as well there or exactly what it is, but being at home, his ERA, is at over 5 there as well. So it's a little. I don't know. He seems to he's given up in 31 innings at home. He's given up 5 home runs. So that's basically, if he's going to pitch you 6, he's, slotting in a homer for the other side. So a little bit rough there for both starting pitchers, the way they've been going. Total's only at 9. I think you got to like a lot what you see here for the hitters in this one. So over 4.5 first 5, over 9 for the game. Walker Buehler's been, Kingery, if he's playing, he's 2 for 4 against Buehler lifetime with 2 home runs. Mike Trout, 2 for 5 with a homer lifetime. So a couple opportunities there on some guys. Also, Nito's 2 for 3 against him lifetime. Hoppy's 1 for 1 with a homer against Buehler lifetime. So a lot of guys that have seen Buehler and had over-the-wall success as well for Buehler. Next game up. Oh, so by the way, what we're taking, over 4.5 runs, first 5, over 9 for the game. And we finish up Nationals and the Padres. The Nationals, bullpen absolutely got destroyed after Jake Irvin gave him a hell of a start. I don't know how your bullpen gives up 11 runs, but, 3-0 lead and you're cruising with your starter and your bullpen comes in and just absolutely destroys your whole week. I mean, that was just unfortunate, right? They didn't win the Mackenzie Gore, they are closer than we think, I think, to really be doing something. But they definitely need some pitching help, and there's just not enough pitching in all of baseball, especially when it comes to bullpen guys. That's why I can't believe more guys out of the minors aren't getting more looks, especially in the bullpen. But just they're not having it, I guess. Parker versus Kolek in this one. Kolek's ERA somehow is down to under 3.6. I think that was the last start. He had limited innings. Last start was really good for him as well. So he went against he went 6 1/3 and only gave up 3 against the Dodgers. That's pretty solid in my book. Time before that against the Diamondbacks went 4 1/3, gave up 4. And start before that went against the Brouhahas 5 2/3 and nothing. He does not strike out a lot of guys either. So he's lucky to strike out 4.5, 5 every 9. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for Ks, normally, even if his number's low, it's probably one of those ones where you want to look at taking an under here. So starting pitching's a concern on both sides in this game, absolutely for sure. It's definitely, this should not be a pitcher's duel. If it is, it's more of lack of execution by the hitters. Colorado, Parker, 6 innings, 1 run. Time before that, 3 1/3, 6 runs. Time before that, 6 innings and no runs against the Rangers. So two of the lower offenses in the Rangers and the Rockies, he did all right. Guys that struggle against lefties, against the Marlins, they crushed him. Right? So what do we kind of expect here? Mitchell Parker's still young, only 25, by the way. So this one here, to me, the Padres are a little bit too big of a favorite here, but I understand why they are. They're almost a $1.60 favorite. I'll be really honest with you. I don't love any of the sides really much of this game. I will tell you this, San Diego is not the easiest place on God's green earth to play. Manny Machado, somebody I'd look playing. Tatis finally opened, maybe some player props on that. But I maybe go after Machado. Although he's 0 for 2 against Parker lifetime. And Tatis hasn't faced him yet. But, if Jackson Merrill's back now, which is a great sign. Normally when Jackson Merrill's playing, that team gets a lot longer in the lineup as well. By the way, Luis Arias against Parker's 4 for 6 lifetime against him. So maybe look at Arias and look at Machado on the on the national side. I don't know, Garcia's 1 for 1 against him lifetime. Josh Bell, I always love playing James Wood, because even when you don't win with James Wood, you feel good about it. All right, so we just went through a bunch of bets. How do we get a chance to take a look at those bets? No problem at all. We've got them posted in multiple spots online. TikTok, YouTube channel page as well at the end of every episode on YouTube. It's a link to our Google Sheets, docs.google.com/spreadsheet. Click on that link. Go to the Baseball 2025 tab. Scroll all the way down to June 23rd. You'll be able to see all of our bets what juice we got those at, how many units, what book, and also the results once everything's all wrapped up. And do you like the content you're seeing here and want to see some more? We'd love to have you along for the ride. All you need to do is hit follow or subscribe, depending on the social media platform you're watching us on. We'll show up in your follower subscriptions tab, or make life simple for yourself. Turn on notifications for that social media platform. You'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets Free's dropped a new episode of Bets. Also, last few days of the introductory price for the Discord channel that we have, $6, $10, or $25 a month. You need to subscribe to us through TikTok. Once you do, we will send you that Discord invite. You will be grandfathered in at that price as long as you stay paid active. I will tell you this, we will be a stickler on that because this is way too cheap to be in the Discord currently at what we got it. Whether you're betting $5, $10 a game or this, that, or the other, or you're betting, we have some players on there betting hundreds of thousands. It's a great place for you. You're going to get all the picks early, bonus picks. With WNBA, by the way, bonus picks, those are not every day, even if there's multiple games going on. If there's nothing we like, we don't play it. Simple, right? Also, NBA just finished, so won't be anything there, but also golf. Formula One's back at it this week. We'll be heavily invested in that. So make sure you check that out. It's well worth a few dollar investment per month. Cheaper than going to watching Netflix for the month, and more entertainment value as well. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.